Now on CoastTV News.
Hazmat incident at Perdue, 20621 Savannah Road, Perdue Plant Lane, 1643.
And that 1643 you just heard translates to 4:43 Wednesday afternoon. A chemical cloud discharged at the Perdue plant in Georgetown. It triggered a shelter-in-place order.
And I'm at the Perdue plant where we will give you a live update on the current status of this situation.
Chemical concerns. What exactly was spewed into the air and why it had a particular odor?
And a bitter cold start to our Thursday. Feels like temperatures in the single digits and teens due to strong winds. The latest on that, plus a little more snow possible this weekend. Details coming up.
This is CoastTV News Today.
And we continue with our breaking news coverage of the hazmat situation in Georgetown. A chemical cloud was discharged from the Perdue plant late Wednesday afternoon. A shelter-in-place order that was in effect has now been lifted for a few hours. We continue with our 6 o'clock hour of Coast TV News Today. Good morning, I'm Matt Pensick.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Paige Marley. It is Thursday, January 9th, 2025.
So let's set the scene for you again about the situation. If you're just joining us, people in Georgetown and beyond, they were told to shelter in place after a chemical cloud was discharged into the air at the Perdue plant. This all happened around 4:40 p.m. It was at that plant in Georgetown. And again, that order has now been lifted to shelter in place. A spokesperson says a chemical supplier accidentally mixed two chemicals. DENREC confirms the chemicals were peracetic acid and sodium hydroxide, and it created a smoke plume that has since dissipated. People that were close to the plant, they were asked to stay indoors as smoke may have caused dizziness, eye irritation, or nausea. So it was an intense afternoon and an intense evening, and we're still gathering more information.
Yes, we are. So to help us out, Coast TV's Elisa Weber is live outside the Perdue plant. Elisa, it's pretty empty right now, but we know just hours ago it was really a hub of first responder activity.
Good morning, Matt and Paige. Yes, as you mentioned a couple of hours ago, this area was filled with emergency vehicles. And Coast TV, we were on the scene when this was happening, but the closest we were able to get to this plant was about a quarter of a mile away. But as you can see right now, there is not a lot going on here, so I am able to get close. And now behind me, I do want to point out we are seeing some smoke that is coming from the factory. We believe that that is normal factory activity and not that chemical cloud that we were just describing to you. And a couple of hours ago, that shelter-in-place order was lifted, but officials say that a smell could still be in the air from that chemical mishap. And the mayor of Georgetown says that that smell could linger for a couple of days. But fortunately, right now, I am not smelling anything off, which is likely a good thing. And again, DENREC says that they are monitoring this situation, and they are confident there is no risk to people working at the plant or living in the area. Back to you.
Lisa Weber, thank you for that. And we learned more about the first responder action by listening to the 911 calls as that vapor cloud was reported in the air over Market Street. Here is what was initially observed from emergency crews.
Spoke to Thomas subject. He called back. He has a 45-minute ETA. He spoke to someone on scene advising it's a 6,000-gallon tank in the management parking lot.
Now, as you just heard, it mentioned the size of that tank, but we do want to clarify that we have not been able to confirm that that is the actual size. Just hours ago, we spoke with DENREC, and they say they tested the pH levels and the environmental conditions. While that shelter in place is lifted, DENREC does say it has a response team staged, and, quote, DENREC will be continuing to monitor the situation until we are fully confident there is no risk to plant workers or surrounding residents, end quote.
The two chemicals involved, peracetic acid, sodium hydroxide. Here is what exactly they are. Peracetic acid, which is likely what led to the smells in that Georgetown area, it can have a strong vinegar-like odor. That is used to clean and sanitize food. Sodium hydroxide does not have an odor, and that is used as a cleaner. Several shocking events in Georgetown overnight, and we will continue to provide updates as we get them here on Coast TV.
But right now, First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey joins us. Bob, you've been letting us know, too, about the wind we've been seeing and how it could have an effect on something like this.
That's right. And right now, we've got a prevailing northwesterly wind. So if there is any odor from that plant, it would be downwind of Georgetown, maybe around Millsboro, back through Long Neck and into the Selbyville area. So if you smell that odor, it's probably going to be downwind to the south and east, to the north and west, probably less of a chance, as those winds are gusting up to 30 miles per hour at Indian River Inlet right now, 22 in Salisbury, 25 in Georgetown, and it is just plain cold out there. 20 in Georgetown up to Milton and Salisbury right now, 21 in Bethany Beach, Indian River Inlet at 21, and it feels like 8 in Salisbury and Georgetown, 5 Indian River Inlet. So bundle up this morning, take extra time out there because the roads are still slick and it's just bitterly cold as we're looking at northwesterly winds. Clear conditions across Delmarva right now as that Arctic air continues to pour in out of the north and west. So we're starting in the teens and 20s at 6:30. Notice the colored arrows, yellow and red, and that is indicating strong winds and temperatures only slowly rising through the teens into the 20s this morning. By noon, only into the upper 20s. At least we see full sunshine, and in that full sunshine, some melting ice too. So slush and water will refreeze once the sun goes down. Close to 30 this afternoon, then it gets dark, and then we'll see those temperatures plunging through the 20s. It's a cold ferry ride up to Cape May, only in the 20s this morning, but with these winds really howling out of the northwest, sustained 25 miles per hour. Is a gale warning, lots of white caps, and very windy out there. So buckle up for that ferry ride as temperatures barely get to freezing this afternoon.
Thank you, Bob. We have more breaking news. The wildfires in California, fueled by extremely powerful Santa Ana winds, is claiming homes and threatening lives. We've got a live look here. This is near the Hollywood Hills area in the Pacific Palisades of Los Angeles. More than 3,000 acres have already burned, and some 30,000 people have been forced to flee.
Yeah, Lee Waldman shows us now. Fire crews there, they're spread very thin across Southern California. 2 other major fires as well that are burning nearby since.
Some of the buildings that we've been watching burn tonight are completely extinguished as there's nothing left to burn. But block after block here in the Pacific Palisades looks just like this building behind us. People's livelihoods, their businesses, their homes burned to the ground by the Palisades fire. This is the same story for so many different communities as 6 wildfires are now burning in LA County. These fires are fueled by wind and dry condition. We heard from Governor Gavin Newsom. He said they've deployed over 7,500 firefighting and emergency crews to try and combat these fires. That's in addition to crews coming from out of state to try and help in that aid as well. Now the Navy is sending in helicopters to help with the aerial response as well. Between the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire, over 130,000 people are under evacuation orders. School tomorrow canceled for the entire Los Angeles Unified School District. We know that at least 2 schools have burned to the ground in the Palisades. That shows you the impact this fire is having across LA County. In the Pacific Palisades, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
New this morning, settlement has been reached between the Maryland State Police and the U.S. government. This was over fitness and written tests to hire entry-level troopers. The government alleges that tests violated the Civil Rights Act and disqualified women and African-American applicants, stating parts of the tests were not job-related. Maryland State Police has agreed to pay over $2.5 million into an interest-bearing account.
We're going to check out the scene now this morning. High above Coastal Highway, it's Ocean City. We have some developing news about what's being proposed right about to your left there on your screen in the Atlantic Ocean. What we're talking about is, of course, the effort to build a wind farm off of our coast. It's moving a little closer to reality. A public hearing for this project was originally scheduled for Tuesday. That's now set to take place tonight. One of the applications that's being reviewed is an air quality permit to construct. This is for the proposed 121 turbines that would be located 10 nautical miles off the Worcester County coast. According to the Maryland Department of the Environment, a tentative determination has been made that expects the project will meet all state and federal air quality requirements. But it is important to note, Ocean City still suing the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management over this project. And we're just getting started in this hour of Coast TV News Today.
Yeah, coming up, help for housing, how Milton is moving closer to a plan for families with moderate incomes.
Also ahead, here we go again with the potential of snow over the weekend, how Delmarva is stocking up ahead of another storm.
But first, we meet a Milford man known as Mr. Positive, a veteran spreading kindness with spontaneous acts that could change lives and create unforgettable moments. All that and more as Coast TV News Today continues.
Michael Anderson of Anderson Wealth Management has the strategies you need to help plan your retirement. Catch Wise Money right here on WRDE.
Draper Media, an equal opportunity employer, is dedicated to provide broad outreach regarding job vacancies at the station. We seek the help of local organizations in referring qualified applicants to our station. Organizations that wish to receive our vacancy information should email humanresources@wboc.com.
On August 1st of 1924, my great-grandfather, Samuel E. Shockley, met in Willards with a small group of men to determine the advisability of opening a bank in Willards, Maryland.
Put yourself in their shoes. A train comes through town, there's horses and buggies, and the only way that they could allocate capital through this area of Wicomico County was to build a bank. It's an audacious goal.
They wanted to build a bank that could be used by the common man. So they met in the summer of 1924, and then by January they were ready to open the doors of the bank.
It's really rewarding to hear the stories of a customer who comes in and says, you know, your grandfather gave me my first loan.
Banking will always be about people. It will not be about machines, computers, cell phones. So as we move forward into the future of the Farmers Bank of Willards, we always have to remember that people come first.
Delmarva Art Expo is a juried vendor show for all mediums, January 17th through the 19th at the Ocean City Convention Center. You'll find unique jewelry, fine art, and home decor from talented artisans. Visit our website for more information.
For every season, every weather moment, stay ahead with the Coast TV First Alert Weather Phone. Just call 443-880-9100. Your forecast just a call away. Sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead and Dallas Federico.
They say positivity is contagious, and for one Milford man, it's actually kind of become his whole nickname. They call him Mr. Positive. In this week's Coastal Connections, Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken introduces us to the man whose generosity knows no bounds.
This is Chaplain Al Kraft, but to hundreds of people who've met him, like the Tremuta brothers, he's Mr. Positive.
When he walks in, everybody kind of cheers a little bit.
Nicholas Tremuta is a lifeguard at the YMCA, but he's got big dreams. Nicholas and his brothers are starting a residential construction business, and when he told Kraft that one day while at the pool, the chaplain hopped into action.
And he said, "All right, well, I'm gonna go look for a truck for you guys." And then a few hours later, I had a picture on my phone.
Chaplain Kraft found not one, but 2 trucks, gifted to Nicholas and his younger brother Matthew, paid for through something called the Positive Eagles SOAR program.
It was all very sudden. He's a very, how do I put this? He likes to do things spontaneously.
They touch me. And I'm a Marine, and I don't get touched much like that. I'm very proud of them.
Helping people is kind of Chaplain Kraft's thing.
Americanism is kindness.
At 78 years old, Kraft, a disabled veteran himself, has managed to help more than 100 of his fellow disabled veterans with free electric wheelchairs and various kinds of aid. And for every person he helps, he hands out an American flag, specially folded by the Honor Guard at the Dover Air Force Base.
This flag means so much of what you can achieve under it if you want to.
On this day, Chaplain Kraft wanted to surprise his favorite barbershop with a little red, white, and blue.
But I want to give y'all here, this is for y'all store. You hear me?
Because helping others is just in his blood.
So it's not years that you remember, it's moments. Never the years, it's the moment.
And whether it's gifting trucks, wheelchairs, flags, or just a helping hand, Mr. Positive is a master of making the moment.
I feel good!
For Coastal Connections, I'm Emma Aiken.
This morning's weather forecast courtesy of Baths by Spicer Brothers, a Delmarva tradition for over 20 years.
New year, new bath. Bring in 2025 with big savings from Baths by Spicer Brothers.
Right now, get 20% off all upgrades, plus save 25% on your entire bathroom project. Baths by Spicer Brothers can bring your vision to life with safe and accessible tub-to-shower conversions.
Our factory certified team guarantees 5-star professional installation completed in as little as 1 day.
Call today and save 20% off all upgrades and 25% off your entire bathroom project.
Baths by Spicer Brothers, because you deserve the best.
DSN Plus is more energy, extra live games and on-demand replays, anytime, anywhere. DSN Plus is more hype. From playoff matchups in unified football to marching band showcases, we highlight what makes Delmarva unique. DSN Plus is more hometown pride. We go wherever our teams go, with up to 5 live games every weeknight. DSN is still free on air and cable, but get even more with DSN Plus, just $6.99 a month. Download the Delmarva Sports Network app from your app store today.
The real estate industry was broken, but change is here and the Parker Group is leading the charge.
We're proud to introduce our groundbreaking 3.5% listing fee. Sell with us and you could save thousands of dollars.
Our cutting-edge technology delivers significant savings that we pass on to you. Our world-class marketing and dedicated team provide the human touch and unparalleled expertise that you deserve.
As passionate advocates for a more transparent and equitable selling experience, we're not afraid to challenge the status quo.
Welcome to a new era of real estate with the Parker Group.
The weather is brought to you by Spicer Brothers Construction. Born here to serve here. Ring in 2025 with a new roof from Spicer Brothers. Right now, get 20% off materials, plus save 25% on your entire roofing project. Our expert team is dedicated to providing unmatched customer service and quality craftsmanship. It's the perfect time to upgrade your home and start the year strong. So don't miss out on the 2025 savings with 20% off materials and 25% off your entire roofing project. Visit SpicerBros.com or call now to schedule your free consultation. Make Spicer Brothers your New Year's resolution because you deserve the best.
Time is 6:16. We're getting a live look near the banks of the Choptank River in Cambridge, one of my favorite cameras. Bob, you've been tracking the wind situation. It's been a big part of our breaking news coverage of this gas cloud situation in Georgetown.
Yeah, Matt, and I think, with the prevailing northwest wind, it would be anywhere from Georgetown to the south and east that has a chance of smelling that odor. So as you had mentioned, it's contained. There just might be an odor in the air. So areas south and east, maybe Long Neck to Millsboro, possibly with that prevailing wind from the north and west. And that wind has definitely been drifting that snow lately. So we're still digging out, and there's still a chance of some blowing and drifting in those open areas today. And in the sun, some of that dark pavement, we'll see some water and slush, some melting again, and then refreeze once the sun goes down. Bitterly cold wind chills, single digits and teens throughout the day. A little better for tomorrow. And we're watching the coast Saturday. Could see a little more accumulating snow into Saturday morning. Right now, not looking like anything like we saw on Monday. 20 in Salisbury up to Redden, 20 in Milton, 22 in Ocean City, and lower 20s from Rehoboth to Bethany Beach. And those winds are gusty. 25 in Georgetown, 30 in Indian River Inlet, 22 in Ocean City, gusting to 22 in Salisbury. Feeling like 8 above in Georgetown, only 4 Indian River Inlet, 8 in Salisbury as well. So very, very cold out there. Bundle up. And once again, remember, the primary highways are in good shape. It's the secondary roads that are still a little dicey, so keep that in mind. Anyway, it's more Arctic air. We're looking at clear skies all across the area. It's just cold as that air continues to pour out of Canada. Here's our next system now developing across West Texas with snow, freezing rain, and that will be tracking along the Gulf Coast and then off to our south off the coast of Cape Hatteras, and that will put us on the edge of accumulating snow as we go into your Saturday morning. It's a quick shot, just a few hours of snow. More on that coming up, but we're looking at teens and 20s as we go through the morning hours on Futurecast. The yellow and red arrows indicating those strong winds, and by mid-afternoon, I don't think we get quite to freezing. 30 in Millsboro and Dewey Beach and Salisbury, everybody around 30 degrees, feeling really cold. And then that refreeze of the slush and water as we go into this evening. And then moving into Friday morning, still breezy in the morning. I think that wind backs off during the afternoon as the clouds start to thicken up and temperatures get near freezing. Here comes that system Saturday morning with a bout of snow. Not expecting anything heavy. I think the heavier activity could be Cape Charles back through Newport News. You can see that brighter blue there at 8:30. But for us, a little shot of snow, and then it's pretty pretty much gone by the afternoon, where we could see maybe an inch and a half of snow, a little more in some places, a little less in others. So not a huge system, but the big story today are those winds gusting close to 40 miles per hour. But then they start to back off as we go into Friday, but really bundle up as we're looking at single digits this morning, teens in the afternoon, and then back to those single digit feels like temperatures tomorrow morning, improving a little bit in the afternoon. Paul Davis 7-day forecast, 31 today, another bitter cold start tomorrow, 18, 34 increasing clouds Friday. We do have a yellow alert for a little bit of snow Saturday morning, maybe an inch or two, otherwise afternoon sun. Mostly sunny on Sunday, and then up to 40 on Monday, melting a lot more snow there before it gets cold again by Tuesday into Wednesday, upper 20s Wednesday. It looks like we finally do quiet down from the storms after Saturday.
Sounds good, Bob. Thank you. Now, CoastTV News will continue to be your source for this winter storm week, especially with the potential situation on Saturday. So don't forget, we'll continue to have coverage on TV, CoastTV.com, all of our apps and our radio stations. We will be your source for these snow weather events. Now, talking snow and storm weather, people at the Redners in Milford, they're loading up on their groceries ahead of Saturday's snow. Some shoppers say they're preparing to stay indoors, and they say that the store shelves are actually beginning to empty. Others say they are still dealing with the recent storm. They feel like Milford got hit extra hard.
I wanted to be prepared in case I'm snowed in for another couple of days. So I bought groceries today to last for several days in case I can't go out on Monday to do my regular grocery shopping. So there are some things that were not on the shelf that usually are there.
And other shoppers in Milford say they are just relieved that the incoming snow seems to be smaller than the other recent one.
New this morning in Milton, we could see progress in the town's attempts to address the issue of affordable housing. This could include a deal with the nonprofit Milford Housing Development Corporation, and according to Milton's Affordable Housing Committee, the town is focused on building market-priced homes in residentially zoned developments in large parcel development districts. Now, this afternoon, the committee could vote on recommendations that it would then send to the town council.
Coming up next, food pantry prep. We're talking the impact Monday's snow had, and will they be ready for the potential snow ahead? CoastTV will be right back in a moment.
Listen to Big 107.7, Delmarva's classic rock station.
Mark your calendars for the Children's Beach House Gala presented by Jack Wingo Realtors and Jack Wingo Asset Management on February 8 in Dewey Beach. This black tie evening features an open bar, auctions, dinner, and a performance by Kristen and the Noise. Your support helps empower children with special needs to build confidence, develop leadership skills, and thrive in a caring community. For more info, visit cbhinc.org/gala or call 302-841-9639. Sponsored by CoastTV.
Welcome to Kelly's Outdoors, your local outdoor superstore in Millsboro. We carry everything you need this hunting season, from waterfowling gear to deer hunting essentials, bows, tree stands, ammo, and apparel from brands like Drake and Nomad. We also have a wide selection of saltwater and freshwater fishing gear and crabbing supplies for your next day on the water. Kelly's Outdoors now has a wide supply of guns, pistols, and rifles from Rattay, Browning, Winchester, Savage, Beretta, SIG, Springfield, and Smith & Wesson. Before your next outdoor adventure, visit Kelly's Outdoors in Millsboro today.
There's only one place to go for your next vehicle. IG Burton. Trusted since 1908 for our expert team, massive selection, and our unbeatable prices. You simply won't find a better deal anywhere else. But it's not just about unbeatable prices. It's about superior service before, during, and after each sale too. Visit us today, and remember,
nobody beats a Burton deal. Nobody.
Nobody beats an IG Burton deal.
When choosing a granite countertop, choose one for real life and beauty. No matter what life throws at them, they'll look beautiful forever. Ancient Art Stone invites you to discover the affordability of granite and upgrade your home to the beautiful works of art from Ancient Art Stone. Centrally located in Milford, Delaware, serving all of Delmarva to make your dreams a reality. Visit us and allow our devoted professionals to craft, fabricate, and install a superior finished product that will transform your home into a work of art.
Food pantries are a necessity for many around Sussex County, just trying to feed their families every day. But the recent snowfall has made it difficult for everyone to reach local pantries. And with the second round of snow impending, Jen Quigley with the Christian Storehouse is gearing up to provide her community with what they need.
There's a lot of elderly men and women out there that do not have the means to come out and get their own food. So as a matter of fact, we're going to be doing those deliveries tomorrow.
And for anyone looking to reach the Christian Storehouse, don't forget you can find them. They are located in Millsboro.
And First Alert meteorologist Bob Trihey is back with us. The winds again, the story along the coast.
They are everywhere too, but especially along the coast where it's more exposed. And we do have a gale warning for Delaware Bay and in the Atlantic Ocean. And some of the inland bays too, Little Assawoman Bay too. Gale warning until Friday morning. Those winds howling over 40 miles per hour. Assateague and Chincoteague are starting out way down in the 20s, barely getting to freezing. And with those winds, you're feeling like teens and 20s. Waves around 4 to 6 feet. Fenwick Island and Ocean City are windy and cold, beginning in the low 20s by noon, upper 20s, and then lower 30s. And even at the beaches, remember, anything that melts will refreeze. Next 3 days on the beaches, a little warmer Friday in Cambridge than today. Increasing clouds and that shot of snow as we go into Saturday morning. Could get an inch or so. And then Crisfield looking at 30s with that shot of snow on Saturday. More on that system, and I'll let you know if there's any more storminess on the way after that coming up in the next half hour.
All right, thanks, Bob. Rough week. You can cheer up with a weekly dose of local good news from Coast TV with personal features, fun things to do each weekend, and more. Sign up now for free at coasttv.com/sign up and get your weekly dose of joy directly into your inbox on Friday.
Still ahead, we're talking hazmat havoc in Georgetown. We're going live to the Sussex County seat for the latest on that gas cloud that brought an odor and caused a lot of fear.
Also, first responder assessment. We hear the initial reports as crews were arriving on the scene.
And an air explainer as we find out what exactly made its way from the Perdue plant over the skies in Georgetown.
Mondays at 5 on Big 107.7. It's time to huddle up and talk football.
We're talking touchdowns, tackles, and everything in between.
From game-changing plays to the latest news around the league.
We'll take a deep dive into all of the plays that made a difference.
We'll see you in the end zone.
Catch the End Zone, Mondays at 5 on Big 107.7. Sponsored by Tyndall's Casual Furniture and North Star Heating and Air Conditioning.
Your smile is your first impression, so make it an unforgettable one. At Miles of Smiles Cosmetic of Salisbury, we specialize in creating beautiful smiles. Whether you're looking for a routine exam, cosmetic upgrade, or advanced dental care, we deliver the future of dentistry with a personal touch. We are transforming how oral care is delivered through advanced technology and personalized treatments. Call today and schedule your new smile consultation. Miles of Smiles Cosmetic of Salisbury. Beautiful smiles for a healthy lifestyle.
What's in your crawl space? Damp air, wet insulation, maybe a little fungus. It's easy to forget about what's under your home. At Bennett Termite and Crawl Space Solutions, we've been helping homeowners across Delmarva create healthier, safer crawl spaces for over a decade. We make the process simple and worry-free, so you can relax. Every project begins with a thorough inspection and ends with a final quality check. I personally make sure we just don't meet standards, we exceed them. Remember, Delmarva, quality isn't expensive, it's priceless.
The Polar Bear Plunge, benefiting Special Olympics Delaware, is one of the first state's coldest and most beloved traditions. This year, you have 2 exciting ways to take part. Plunge in person in Rehoboth Beach on Sunday, February 2nd, or create your own virtual plunge. Anytime, anywhere, and as cold or not as you want. It's not about how you plunge, it's about why. Support thousands of Special Olympics Delaware athletes. Register now at plungede.org.
Now on Coast TV News.
Hazmat incident at Perdue, 20621 Savannah Road, Perdue Plant Lane, 1643.
That is the 911 communication after a chemical cloud discharged at the Perdue plant in Georgetown. It triggered a shelter-in-place order.
And I am here at the Perdue plant where I will give you a live update on the current status of the area.
Chemical gas, and we're going to break down why it had a particular odor and look at what exactly made its way into the air.
It's a bitter cold start to our Thursday. Feels like temperatures in the single digits and teens, and that's due to the strong winds. The latest on that, plus some more snow possible this weekend. Those details coming up.
This is Coast TV News Today.
We continue on with our breaking news coverage of the hazmat situation happening in Georgetown. Just a few hours ago, the police department there lifted the shelter-in-place order. This was all after a chemical cloud was discharged from the Perdue plant late Wednesday afternoon. And we are going to break all of this down for you. We'll continue to do that today as we are coming up on the bottom of our 6 o'clock hour. Good morning, everyone. I'm Paige Marley.
And I'm Matt Pensick. It is Thursday, January 9th, 2025. And to help set the scene, here is the exact location that we're talking about. The Delaware Emergency Management Agency is reporting that the cloud covered a half-mile radius. The Perdue chicken plant is on Savannah Road in Georgetown. That's in the northeast part of the town.
So here's what happened, what we know so far. People in Georgetown and beyond were told to shelter in place after a chemical mix at the Perdue plant. This all happened around 4:40 p.m. at the Perdue plant there in Georgetown. Now again, the order has since been lifted. A spokesperson says a chemical supplier accidentally mixed two chemicals. DENREC confirms that the chemicals were parasitic acid and sodium hydroxide. That created a smoke plume that has since dissipated. People that were close to the plant were asked to stay indoors. The smoke may have caused dizziness, eye irritation, or even nausea. And we are still gathering information after that intense Wednesday night there in Georgetown.
And helping us do that this morning is our Elisa Weber. She is live in Georgetown. People there waking up after what was a scary situation. Good morning, Elisa.
Good morning, Matt and Paige. Just a couple of hours ago, this area was filled with emergency vehicles, and CoastTV was on the scene when this was all happening, but the closest we were able to get to this plant was about a quarter of a mile away. But as you can see right now, I am able to get pretty close, and this area is quiet this morning. I do want to point out right behind me, there is some smoke that we believe is just normal factory activity and not that chemical cloud we were just describing. And while that shelter-in-place order has been lifted, officials say a smell could still be in the air from that chemical mishap, and the mayor of Georgetown says that smell could linger for days. Right now, I am not smelling anything off, which is likely a good sign. DENREC says that it is still monitoring this area, and they're confident that there is no risk to anyone inside of that plant or living in the area. Back to you.
Lisa, thank you so much. Now, what was discharged in the air, those two chemicals that we told you, sodium hydroxide and parasitic acid? Here's exactly what they are. Sodium hydroxide does not have an odor. It's used as a cleaner. And then that odor that people most likely smelled, that most likely came from that parasitic acid, that can have a strong vinegar-like odor. That's used to clean and sanitize food.
And we learned more about this response by listening to the 911 calls as the vapor cloud was reported in the air over Market Street. Here was what was initially reported about the employees inside when the gas was discharged.
Okay. Did he advise if he's keeping the employees inside the structure or if they've got any sick subjects?
He did not. He advised a truck was there making a delivery, made it to the wrong tank, and then was caught and the tank started gassing. Advising it can spread from anywhere to 350 feet. In a general area.
Just hours ago, we spoke with DENREC, and they say they tested the pH levels and the environmental conditions. That shelter in place is lifted, but DENREC says it does have a response team still. And they also say, quote, DENREC will continue to monitor the situation until we are fully confident there's no risk to plant workers or surrounding residents, end quote.
Yeah, we just hit 6:32 on what has become a troubling Thursday morning.
We're going to bring in First Alert meteorologist Bob Trahey now. Bob, you've been helping us understand how the winds could affect what happened there in Georgetown.
Yeah, indeed. And if there is an odor from that plant, I think it would be happening at the plant and to the south and east because we're looking at a northwesterly wind. So anywhere downwind, you might get that odor, perhaps in Millsboro over towards Long Neck, maybe Selbyville, but it looks like it's more concentrated around the Georgetown area. But those winds around 10 to 20 miles per hour and gusting much higher than that, gusting to 25 in Georgetown, 22 in Salisbury, over 30 miles per hour at the coast right now. So actual temperatures 20 in Georgetown and Milton and Rehoboth, Ocean City 22, 20 in Salisbury. Boy, it is cold with the wind. Feels like 8 in Georgetown and Salisbury. Feels like 5 Indian River Inlet, 8 in Ocean City, 10 in Redden. So bottom line, bundle up. It's bitter cold and watch out on those secondary roads. A lot of them are still slick and snow covered. Otherwise, we are looking at clear skies on the satellite picture. We will see full sunshine. It's just going to be a windy and cold day as we have more of that Arctic air building in. So we're in the teens and 20s on Futurecast this morning. You see the multicolor arrows indicating the strong winds, and then temperatures only slowly warming through the 20s to around 30 as we head into the mid-afternoon hours. In the sun, melting some of that snow and ice, not so in the shade, and then watch for refreeze this evening as temperatures fall back into the 20s. Here's your runner cast. It's going to be tricky with still some slick sidewalks and roads. Be careful out there. It will be windy as well with those gusty winds to 40 miles per hour and temperatures essentially staying in the 20s all day with sunshine.
Thank you, Bob. We're now taking you live to the U.S. Capitol. Inside there is the casket of the 39th President of the United States, Jimmy Carter. It's draped with an American flag. People continue to pay their respects. We will have coverage of Jimmy Carter's funeral today here on Coast TV because today is the National Day of Mourning for the former president.
And as NBC's Chris Pallone shows us, President-elect Trump, some celebrities, perhaps most importantly to the late president, everyday Americans have all lined up to say goodbye and thank you.
Throughout the night and into the early morning hours, mourners by the thousands came to the Capitol to pay their respects to President Jimmy Carter, each with his own reasons for coming.
I think President Carter and Rosalind Carter deserve all the respect and that the world can muster. It was a minor sacrifice on my part, to fly up here in the cold weather.
They waited in line for hours in frigid temperatures just to spend a few moments with a president who touched their lives in some way.
I definitely revered the man. I mean, he's definitely done a lot, as a human being and for the world.
Throughout the day, political leaders and celebrities joined the masses, the president-elect and his wife, a Supreme Court justice, artists Trisha Yearwood and Garth Brooks, who will sing at the late president's funeral at the National Cathedral today. President Biden will deliver a eulogy for his late friend, and after that, Special Air Mission 39 will take the 39th president home to Georgia for a private service at the church where he taught Sunday school for decades. Then, burial next to his beloved wife, Rosalind. As they waited, mourners reflected on what they'll remember most about Jimmy Carter.
Decency. I think that's the adjective everybody uses for him. Respect. Selfless, willing to do what was right, even if it wasn't popular.
Now a nation prepares for its final farewell to a former president. Chris Pallone, NBC News, Washington.
And new this morning, a settlement has been reached between the Maryland State Police and the U.S. government. This was over fitness and written tests to hire entry-level troopers. The government alleges the tests violated the Civil Rights Act and disqualified women and African-American applicants, stating parts of the tests were not job-related. Maryland State Police has agreed to pay over $2.5 million into an interest-bearing account. Checking out the scene this morning, high above Ocean City, a good look at a relatively quiet coastal highway. To the left of this shot is the Atlantic Ocean, and way to the left is what is being proposed that continues to generate controversy. Today, more talk about that wind farm that appears to have momentum for construction off of our coast. A public hearing for this project, it was originally scheduled for Tuesday. It's now set to take place tonight, and one of the applications that will be reviewed is an air quality permit to construct. This is for the proposed 121 turbines that would be located 10 nautical miles off the Worcester County coast. According to the Maryland Department of the Environment, a tentative determination has been made that expects the project will meet all state and federal air quality requirements. It's important to note here that Ocean City is still suing the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management over this project. Still got a lot more news to get to in this final half hour. Don't go anywhere.
Coming up Wednesday was the 447th Maryland legislative session, and we have a recap and why there are hints of some potential tax increases.
Also streaking, Seagulls, the big night for the men's hoop team as they build on their winning streak.
Also ahead, help for housing, how Milton is moving closer to a plan for families with moderate incomes. Stick with us on Coast TV News today.
Coverage on the road, in your community, along the coast. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, live on the street, day or night. From breaking news to weather in your town. The IG Burton First Alert Weather Jeep, coverage you can count on.
Design a custom home that fits your unique style and budget with Accessible Home Builders. At Accessible, we provide you with a variety of customizable options to create the home of your dreams.
Accessible Builders provided us with a beautiful home.
Scott is full of ideas from his past experiences, and he really worked with us on all our custom asks and wants.
We would definitely recommend Accessible Builders.
Completely customize your dream home with Accessible Home Builders.
When choosing windows and doors for your home, at Pella, it's your choice. We manufacture maintenance-free vinyl, fiberglass, and wood-clad windows and patio doors, all with lifetime warranties. high performance, energy efficient, and loaded with options to help make your house your home. Industry first features and benefits make living easier and increase your home's value. Visit our Experience Center or call us today to schedule your free in-home consultation where we bring the showroom to you.
Start the new year off generously by giving to those in need on Delmarva. Coast Country Cares is hosting a Code Purple Drive on Saturday, January 18th at Boulevard Ford in Lewis. Stop by from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. to donate non-perishable food items, warm clothing, cleaning supplies, and more for shelters and those who need it most this winter. For a complete list of items for January 18th, go to coastcountry.com. Coast Country Cares, sponsored by Spicer Brothers.
Get the Coast TV News app, the latest and most up-to-date stories for your coastal community. Coastal news customized to your needs. Download the Coast TV News app on your Apple or Android devices. Coast TV, our community, your news.
It's coming up on 6:40 on this frigid Thursday morning. Tyndall's Casual Furniture Cam 21 in Laurel. We've got the snow. We've got clear skies, so at least we'll see lots of sunshine, good visibility, and cold temperatures around 20 to 22 degrees right now. Bundle up out there. We've got winds that are gusting 25 to close to 35 miles per hour to 40 as we go through the day. It's going to be windy and cold, and it's cold right now, feeling like single digits in Georgetown, Salisbury, and 9 in Bethany Beach. So bundle up, but at least we're in the sun. So stay in the sun and out of the wind. That's the key. But the Arctic air continues to funnel in from the northwest. Today's checklist: travel with caution. Don't need the ice scraper because it's windy, no frost, but plenty of snow. Have your shovel in the car just in case you still have that chance of going in the ditch. Watch for refreeze of any slush or water that's standing this evening. Always have that warm beverage and keep the sunglasses handy. It will be bright out there with that snow cover. Ellen Castellana is our umbrella winner today from Georgetown. Congratulations to her from Paul Davison, Coast TV.
Thank you, Bob. New this morning in Milton, we could be seeing progress in the town's attempts to address the issue of affordable housing. This could include a deal with the nonprofit Milford Housing Development Corporation. According to Milton's Affordable Housing Committee, the town is focused on building market-priced homes in residentially zoned developments and large parcel development districts. This afternoon, the committee could be voting on recommendations. They would then send those to town council.
Sunday night is a great night for football if you're a fan of the burgundy and gold NFL playoff action, and we have Paige's beloved Washington Commanders taking on Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after the game. Stay right here for your local news coverage.
Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good morning, sports fans. Salisbury men's basketball hoping to improve to 12-5 on the season while facing Marymount last night. In the first half, Isaiah Harris getting Marymount on the board with the jumper and leading on offense for the Saints early on. And on the other side for Salisbury, Brandon Davis with the deep corner three. It's good. The grad student getting things started for SU. On the other end is Harris doing damage by the rim, yet again bouncing into SU up 19-15 at half, and the goals take this game 67-59. Jordan Oates led SU with 21 points, and the men's team advances to 12-5 on the year. To women's basketball, McDaniel College took down Salisbury 61-50 last night at Mag's Gym. Elena Beckett led the Green Terrors with 25 points. For the Seagulls, Nicole Miller dropped 17. SU falls to 8-7 on the season. Moving to high school football, the 2A Maryland All-State players were announced. For the second year in a row, a Decatur Seahawk is the player of the year. It's Vanderbilt commit David Chandler. Other all-star Seahawks are quarterback Johnny Hobgood, lineman Garrett Maloney, receiver Tribe Wise, and linebacker Ethan Bradshaw. Also, Jake Coleman captured 2A Coach of the Year. Other Bayside stars named All-State include Easton quarterback Michael O'Connor, Parkside linebacker Shahid Armstrong, and North Carolina defensive lineman Owen Piavis. So that'll do it for sports. Have a great day, everyone.
And here's what's coming up today on the Delmarva Sports Network. 4:15, you got boys high school basketball, Calvary Christian at ESH. 10:30 p.m., you have the final score.
And the roads actually looking pretty good right now in the Tidal Health Cam. Primary roads are in good shape. Secondary roads are still a little sketchy. Be careful out there. Feeling like single digits with the wind. The cold weather continues, and a small chance of snow. Small chance on Saturday. Not looking major like Monday at this point. Your forecast details coming up in 2 minutes.
NBC Nightly News, weeknights at 6:30 on Coast TV.
How many times have you tried to clean a stubborn mess but end up with no success? What you need is the all-new waterproof Ruby Horsepower, the new cordless and rechargeable power scrubber that cleans faster and easier, guaranteed. Watch, baked on oven grease is no match. It blasts away dirt and grime in no time. The power comes from our rotating brushes, spinning at 350 RPM. The incredible torque fights calcium, mildew, mold, and more. Take it in the kitchen, where it busts through caked-on crud, or outside and tackle tough tasks with ease. Get your Ruby Horsepower with 4 additional attachments, all for just $39.99. Great news! They're in stock and ready to ship. Due to high demand, only 2 per order. Order now.
Call 1-800-455-0217. That's 1-800-455-0217 or visit horsepowerscrubber.com. So call 1-800-455-0217 now.
DSN Plus is more energy, extra live games and on-demand replays anytime, anywhere. DSN Plus is more hype. From playoff matchups in unified football to marching band showcases, we highlight what makes Delmarva unique. DSN Plus is more hometown pride. We go wherever our teams go, with up to 5 live games every weeknight. DSN is still free on air and cable, but get even more with DSN Plus, just $6.99 a month. Download the Delmarva Sports Network app from your app store today.
Weather brought to you by Coastal Comfort Heating and Air Conditioning, dedicated to excellence in Delaware and Maryland.
Coastal Comfort knows you can't always plan when you'll need us. That's why Coastal Comfort technicians are dedicated experts. Early mornings to late nights, cold or hot weather, day in and day out, delivering quality service when you need them. Reliable, trustworthy, always here for you. Experience the Coastal Comfort difference. Call us or visit coastalcomfort.com to schedule your appointment today. Coastal Comfort, a Carrier factory authorized dealer serving Maryland and Delaware.
Carrier, turn to the experts.
Time is now 6:45 on your Thursday morning. Let's go now take a live look at Cambridge, see if the sun's on its way up. It's kind of, Bob. I mean, it'll be here eventually, but a little brighter than when we last checked in there. Also, what's different, though, is not as much snow as when we've been checking in there the rest of this week.
No, but I was seeing even drifting snow on the docks in Cambridge yesterday, Paige. And the sun's still about 35 minutes away from coming up, but boy, it'll feel good. Stay in the sun and out of the wind. That's the key today, but you get in that wind and it's boom. It is Arctic chill. We're still digging out because we're still seeing some blowing and drifting in some of those open spots. Watch for that, and the sun will work on that ice this afternoon with water and slush, but then that refreezes this evening. Bitterly cold wind chills, single digits this morning and teens through this afternoon. It does improve with lighter winds on Friday. Then we're watching the coast on Saturday for the threat for accumulating snow. Nothing to the degree like we saw on Monday where we had a foot. We're talking about an inch or two. That's about it. More on that coming up. 20 in Milton and Redden and Georgetown right now. It is really cold, consistently cold everywhere, even lower 20s at the coast. Indian River Inlet 21, Ocean City 22. Bundle up. I know a lot of kids don't have school, but if the kids are venturing out, just make sure they're layered up, bundled up, scarves, hats, the whole deal. As we're looking at winds gusting right now, 25 to over 30 miles per hour, Indian River Inlet, 25 in Georgetown, 26 in Millsboro. So any odor from that plant in Georgetown would be blowing to the south and east if you do smell it. We're looking at feels like temperatures around 8 in Georgetown, 8 in Salisbury, 5 Indian River Inlet, and 13 in Rehoboth, as we're looking at mainly clear skies. So good visibility, and once we get out there, the sun's looking really nice today. Full sunshine. We're in that Arctic flow, that northwest flow. Relentless cold the last several days. Some lake effect snow showers, but I'm watching this system taking shape across Texas. Snow, ice, and rain for them. And then that system will be tracking along the Gulf Coast and then moving to our south. And in this position, as it moves off Cape Hatteras, we'll be on the fringe of this system that will bring some accumulating snow as we go into early Saturday morning. Right now, not looking major, but we are definitely looking at that chance of accumulating snow as we go into that time period. Teens and 20s this morning, windy, feeling much colder with the wind as temperatures creep through the 20s. By noon, into the upper 20s to right around 30 mid-afternoon. In fact, looks like everybody is just below that melting point by 3 o'clock, but those strong winds making it feel much colder. And once again, anything that melts will refreeze this evening as temperatures fall through the 20s into the teens and 20s by Friday morning. Not as brutal with those winds as they'll start to quiet down tomorrow. We thicken up the clouds into the afternoon. Temperatures, I think, getting a little bit above freezing, and then we're watching that system into Saturday. Very early Saturday morning, we get a brush of some snow, maybe a burst of heavier snow, especially farther to the south, but the brunt of this system, southern tip of Delmarva and points south. But we'll get a little shot of snow in the morning, and then it clears out into the afternoon. We're thinking maybe an inch and a half or so, Delmar, Selbyville, maybe an inch around Berlin, and farther north, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. Really depends on your location. A better chance of higher amounts to the south. Winds over 40 miles per hour at times this afternoon, really adding a bite to the air. And then those winds do quiet down as we go into Friday, which feels like temperatures single digits this morning, and then teens this afternoon, and another night and Friday morning of single digits. And then it does improve a little bit as we go into the afternoon. Below freezing today, 31, and then Friday mostly cloudy, 34. Paul Davis 7-day forecast. We do have a yellow alert for Saturday for a little bit of accumulating snow, about an inch or two, 36. Improving weather Sunday, 37. Monday melting more snow as sunshine, 40 degrees, then turning colder after that. It looks like we do get a break from some of those storms after Saturday's system.
Thank you, Bob. Coast TV News continues to be your source for this winter storm week, especially with the potential of a few more inches on Saturday. We will have coverage of that on Coast TV, on CoastTV.com, on our apps, and on our radio stations. We are your source for these snow weather events.
In Annapolis Wednesday, the 447th Maryland legislative session began, and a big issue is the state's ballooning $3 billion deficit. Governor Wes Moore, other Democratic leaders hinted to possible tax increases to address that, but other lawmakers, including Senate Minority Leader Stephen Hershey and Senator Mary Beth Carozza, say the state really needs to tighten its budget first.
The Republican caucus is going to be adamantly opposed to any type of tax or fee increases. We feel that the government needs to do what everyday Maryland families are doing as well, too, and that's to live within its means.
We have to hit the budget crisis in Maryland head on. And a lot of us over the years have issued warnings and saying you cannot pass these big mandated bills, unfunded mandates, onto the taxpayers.
On another topic, Senator Carozza and Delegate Cherie Sample Hughes want more to be done about youth crime.
Delaware's General Assembly are set to reconvene on Tuesday in Dover. Lawmakers are set to consider legalizing physician-assisted suicide, funding school resource officers at all public schools, and also home delivery of wine. And then on January 21st, Governor-elect Matt Meyer will be inaugurated.
It's 6:51 now. It's time to check in with our coastal pet of the day.
Okay, we got two for the price of one here, Paige. Cupid and Luna. They like to play. They like to wrestle. Just a beautiful looking pair of dogs there. This picture was sent to us by Sue in Ocean Pines.
And we want to see your pets on Delmarva. Send us photos and tell us what makes them special.
On your screen is a QR code. If you scan that, you can get your friends to us here at Coast TV News, and then watch weekdays from 5 to 7 a.m. to see all the pets we feature.
And those little doggies might need that little doggy jacket this morning. It is that cold out there. We're looking at a frigid-looking gutter. Helmet cam, white caps, 20 degrees, feels like single digits, snow on the ground. We are in the depths of winter. Still cold for the rest of the week. A chance of a little bit of snow on Saturday, about that much, not too major at this point. I'll have your 10-day forecast coming up next.
Oh, porches. Hello, aren't you the guy I see on TV, the porch protection guy?
Yeah, I would say.
So they're made of marine grade materials that last for years?
Yeah, I would.
And they say I could use my porch all year round?
I think so.
And they keep the dirt, pollen, and rain and wind out? And the custom made right here locally?
They are.
I got to run, but it was really nice talking to you.
Well, it was nice talking to you too.
Call or visit porchprotection.com for your free quote.
You rip and tear your old statements and bills, but thieves use this information to steal your identity. Don't be a victim. Get the ID Police, the new ink roller that encrypts all your old documents. So before you throw it out, just roll it on, and your information is gone, both on the front and through the back. Even if the paper is held up to the light, even your medical information is safe with the ID Police. So block it out before you throw it out. Order now and get your ID Police for as low as $9.99. and get free shipping too. This offer is not available on Amazon, so call or click now to get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 with free shipping. Order now.
Call 1-800-803-0512. That's 1-800-803-0512. Or visit getidpolice.com. So call 1-800-803-0512 now.
2025 came to Delmarva with a bang.
Take this Monday seriously.
With the first major winter storm of the year.
Roads are snow covered and slick. Best to stay home.
And the CoastTV First Alert Weather Team was there every step of the way. Across TV, radio, online, and social.
We have snow-covered roads pretty much the entire peninsula.
Guiding, informing, protecting. This year and beyond, we've got you covered. CoastTV First Alert Weather. Your safety, our commitment.
Real's celebrating its golden anniversary, and it's your chance at home to win $50,000.
It's a lot of money.
Enter at wheeloffortune.com.
Thursday at 7 on CoastTV.
The wait is over.
We brought the best of the best back.
The Jeopardy! Second Chance competition begins.
Anything can happen, and on Jeopardy often does.
Thursday at 7:30 on CoastTV.
6:54, and it's time for some things you need to know before you go. A settlement has been reached between the Maryland State Police and the U.S. government. It was over fitness and written tests to hire entry-level troopers. Government alleging that the test violated the Civil Rights Act and disqualified women and African-American applicants, stating parts of the test were not job-related. Maryland State Police agreed to pay over $2.5 million in an interest-bearing account.
Today in Milton, we could see some movement in the town's attempts in addressing the issue of affordable housing. This could include a deal with the nonprofit Milford Housing Development Corporation. According to Milton's Affordable Housing Committee, the town has focused on building market-price homes in residential zone developments and large parcel development districts, or LPDs. This afternoon, the committee could vote on recommendations that would then send it to the town council.
In Annapolis Wednesday, the 447th Maryland legislative session began. A big dollar deficit there. Governor Wes Moore and other Democratic leaders have hinted at possible tax increases to address it, but some shore lawmakers say the state should really tighten its budget as the first thing to do. All right, students here have a couple of snow days. Young students, older students, perhaps they built snowmen, stayed in, went sledding, all the good ideas.
Here's a question, though. What if you didn't have a sled, but you still wanted to go for a ride?
I don't know, but no worries. Apparently, for one town in Ohio, this hill in central Ohio has one for you. The Little Sled Library is in Worthington. Plenty of sleds for all ages.
It's like checking out a library book. You just grab your favorite sled in stock, and once you're done, return it for the next person to start their sledding adventure.
Adorable. All right, it is 6:56 now. Time for a look at your forecast before you head out your door.
Yeah, we got one final check with First Alert meteorologist Bob Try, sandwiched between two snow events. Bob?
Yeah, I didn't see any flexible flyers there. I had that as a sled when I was a kid. Those were cool. And then, of course, the metal saucer where you're going like 1,000 miles an hour down the hill. Anyway, we're looking at maybe a little bit of blowing and drifting snow again today. Watch for that, and some melting too in the sun. But it's cold. 20s, feeling like single digits this morning. This afternoon, only topping out near 30, but feeling like teens. And remember, anything that melts with slush standing water will refreeze this evening. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. Friday is a little warmer. Yeah, balmy. We're above freezing, 34, but we increase the clouds. And then we watch for that chance of a little bit of snow on Saturday. Right now, it's a yellow alert for an inch or two of snow as we go into Saturday morning, 36, and then the sun comes out. Dries out Sunday, 37 up to 40 on Monday, and then another shot of cold air into the middle part of next week with 20s and low 30s, and then we get a break for a little while from all the storms.
All right, Bob, thank you, and thank you all for joining us on Coast TV News Today.
The Today Show is up next, coming at 7 a.m.
And then we'll be back with Coast TV Midday, potentially. I know we also have Jimmy Carter's funeral, so we'll keep you updated there.
All right, but until then, have a great Thursday morning, everybody.